event. So good morning, everybody. Welcome to this Friday's webinar from Annika Digital. It's myself, Anne Stanley, today, and I'd like to welcome Dan. So hi, Dan. Good to see you. This is Dan's first video and webinar, so please be kind to him. We have actually pre-recorded this so that make sure that we keep to the times okay. So please do ask lots of questions in the chat or in the Q&A section, and myself or Dan probably will be answering those questions as we go along. Now, while we're waiting for a few more people to arrive, we will do the standard polls. So I've got two polls for you today. They're nice and easy. So the first poll, which you should see on your screen coming up now. Can you see the poll, Dan? Does it come up?
Yeah.
Excellent. So I'm going to read out the questions and the answers while you start to select your choice. So do you currently run paid search ads? And we're talking about Google ads and Bing ads. No, I'm here to learn, or I manage other staff that run paid search ads. No, but I have done in the past, or an agency runs it for us. Yes, we are currently running paid search campaigns. So it looks like about 60% of you are currently running paid search ads. 20% of you have run in the past, or an agency does it for you, which means obviously you want to know what's going on. And just about a third of you, the numbers are switching around now a bit. So yeah, it's about just waiting for you for this amazing how quickly these numbers change. So it looks about 40% of you are running ads, about a third of you are not at the moment, and about 20% have run in the past, or an agency's run them. So thank you for that. So let's go back to the poll queue. So my next question for you guys, this is really so Dan gets a good idea of what you all are doing. Have you used any of the automated or smart features available in paid search? Because that's what we're going to be talking about today. So basically, are you using these smart functionalities that Dan's going to be talking about? No, not currently running ads at all. No, not using these smart features in my account. Yes, we are using some automation or smart features. I'm guessing even if you use some, you might not be using all of them, or you might not understand it. So about 45% of them aren't running ads at the moment. 25% aren't using smart ads. So about a quarter of the audience, Dan, are running some form of automation, but it might be, just a few bits and pieces. So that's helpful. So did you want to say anything else before we started, Dan, or do you just want me to hit the go button? And
I did kind of rush through, powered through it. Usually I do babble on a little bit, so I thought I'd be on a lot, nearer to the full hour. But I say we're about half an hour for this one. So ask as many questions as you like, because I do talk a bit quick. So
okay, all right then. Well, I'm going to hit the go button on the video, and then we'll disappear. We'll turn our cameras off, but we will be lurking in the background. Thank you.
Hello and welcome to this week's webinar. This is on smart ads, how and when to use them. My name is Dan. I've been a senior PPC account manager at Annika for about 3 years, just over 3 years. I've been working in digital marketing for around 10 years. I've worked with B2B and B2C companies of all sizes. I have dabbled in the other arts as well, such as SEO, email, affiliate, social, and offline stuff like billboards and newspaper articles and newspaper advertising, leaflets and stuff like that. So a bit of an old hat. Here are some of the examples of brands that we have worked with here at Annika Digital. I'll get started. So the basics are your expanded search or text ads, whatever you want to call them. And your basic expanded text ad, or ETAs, are your 3 headlines, 2 descriptions. And they display sort of as you've written them. Sometimes Google doesn't display headline 3 or description 2, so it sort of chops and changes, but it's just generally those that it chops off. Similar to how they sometimes display different extensions, they'll do the same with your ads depending on the device or whereabouts on the search engine results page that you're being shown. And then you've got responsive search ads as well, RSAs as we call them, the lingo. They've got your 15 headlines and 4 descriptions, same character limits as before, so it's 30 characters for your headlines, 90 characters for your descriptions. Google uses those supplied assets, they call them the 15 headlines and the 4 descriptions assets, and they create or adapt an ad to show a relevant message to the customer when they've searched. So it looks the same as above, but because you've provided Google a few more assets, Google will automatically test different combinations to learn which combinations perform the best. And by adapting your ads content to more closely match the potential customer search terms, RSAs may improve your campaign's performance. One thing to note is with RSAs, the assets that you provide, the 15 headlines, they can be shown in any order. Generally, there is a limit of 3 responsive search ads per ad group, and it's recommended by Google to have 2 expanded text ads and 1 responsive search ad per ad group, just for rotation purposes and optimization, ad rotation and ad optimization purposes. So we're on to, so those are your basics. So now we'll go on to what the sort of this webinar is all about, which is types of smart ads to sort of raise your ads up to a better level. So we've got different types of smart ads. Some are a lot easier to implement than others. So we've got dynamic keyword insertion, which is DKIs, which dynamically inserts the customer search term into the ad. So whatever they've searched, if it's triggered by your keyword might not match what they've searched exactly, but then you can import that into the ad in whatever part of the ad you like, whether it's a headline or a description, but you can then put that what they've searched into the ad, and you're likely to get more of a more click-through rate because of that. But I say there are some negatives as well, because it could be a service that you don't actually offer. But I'll go through those in a bit more detail later on. Same as the rest of these. If function or condition ads. So if statements use a condition to display a certain message. For example, if you're on a mobile device, then say this. If not, default text to whatever, and the same with audience. So if you exist in this audience, you can display a custom message to the person in that audience. Then we've got countdown ads, which let potential customers know about sales or special events by adding a countdown to your ad text. These can count down by day, then by hour, then by minute, and it counts down to a set time, and it adjusts to the time zone the person's searching, or you can have a global countdown, which is, for instance, it takes your location and it says this, sports match might start at 5 o'clock, and that will be starting everywhere at that particular time. Then we've got a bit more advanced as well, Ad Customizers. These are really good, but they do require a feed to go alongside your ad. So your Ad Customizers adapt your text ads to what someone is searching for, which device they're using, or where they're located, or even the date, time of day, or day of the week. The benefits of Ad Customizers is you should have a tailored message, so it's hyper specialized to sort of the search or web page being viewed. There's a little bit of scalability as well, so you can let customizers let a single text ad have hundreds of variations and show the most relevant variation to each potential customer. And reporting the automatic updates that happen when the ad is triggered don't reset and the ad's performance data. So if you had to make a new ad for each one, you might not get much data. And if as you can see, if you change the ad, you then lose the ad data. So these ones, the ad can change based on sort of what or where or what device or where they're located. It changes it all around, but the ads stay the same. So you can develop that. You can get that historic ad performance that you'd usually have with a normal text ad. So how to create smart ads? It's quite simple to begin with. You create a search ad as usual. So you go into your ad group and you click the little plus button at the top left-hand side, the little blue circle, and you enter the squirrely brackets, the open squirrely brackets, and that's so you do that wherever you want this part of the smart ad to begin. So if you wanted to populate headline 1, you put in your little squirrely bracket, and it will give you the options for creating all these mentioned smart ads. So if you're doing this in bulk, it might be worth going in, creating one ad, and then exporting because it has when you've made it, you have like a little bit of code that then you'll need to put in all of the ads. So if you're doing one at a time, if you've only got a few ads, then this way's fine. But if you're doing it in bulk, you might want to create one in the in the Google Ads interface, and then copy and paste it out to bulk edit your ads in Editor. So these, as I say, these are the 4, and we'll go through them in more detail, and you can see some examples and how and when to use them as we go on. So first of all, we'll start with dynamic keyword insertion. So Google calls it an advanced Google Ads feature that dynamically updates your ad to include one of your keywords that matches a customer's search term. So for example, I have one keyword, Annika Digital, that we maybe targeting in my ad group, and the potential customer search is Annika Digital PPC, or Annika Digital SEO, or Annika Digital, whatever you want to, whatever they've applied their scenario to what their search intent is. So instead of having 10 different ads all with low search volume, not getting a lot of clicks, you make one ad and it's suitable for all these different search terms. So when you create this, it will ask you the title case, or the case as you want to, for what you want, how you want that to be displayed in the ad. So title case would put the capital letters at the start of each word. So it would be Annika Digital PPC, capital A, capital D, capital P. Sentence case would just be a capital A. Lowercase would put it all in lowercase. And you do that by selecting the title, sentence, or lowercase in the options, or if you're doing this in bulk and you know to do this outside of the interface, what you can do is where it says the word keyword, if you want title case, it's capital K, capital W. If you want sentence case, it's just a capital K. If you want lowercase, you put that whole word keyword in lowercase. So that's just if you're doing it outside of the interface. So in this case, it will show in headline 1, for example, but the DKI can be placed anywhere except for the final URL, of course. I don't know why you'd want to be changing that. Right, when to use DKIs. Now, when not to use these is if you've got a search competitor campaign, because this will dynamically insert your competitor's brand name into your search ad. So you will get a slap on the wrist, and they will email you saying, why are you claiming to be us? That has happened to me before. So I test or use these these types of ads. Generally, if you've got a low historic CTR, like under 2%, depending on your industry. Broader phrase match keywords are being used. So Google Ads exact aren't exact anymore anyway. So you could use them for any campaign. It's not a case of it's just suitable for certain keywords. But it's where people are applying their own circumstances. Like I said, it's Annika Digital website ads, Annika Digital Google, Annika Digital Bing ads. It's just where if somebody wants a specific thing, but your keyword doesn't necessarily cover that specific thing, as I say, because if you start adding all these different long tail keywords into your account, chances are there'll be low search volume. I think Gurpreet did mention on the last webinar as well that 15% of searches every day in Google are new searches. So people are beginning to search a bit more with voice search, and generally people just apply their own scenario to it anyway for what they want. So if you just put in Annika Digital or your business, it's top term for your business, you can import that Annika Digital Bing ads into your headline, and the ad will be highly relevant for what that user's searching. So I do not use these ads when a client has a specific online brand advertising requirement. So if you have like a tone of voice that your business wants to comply to online, the search intent may differ to what you want to be, how you want to be shown online. So also spelling mistakes can be directly inserted into your ad copy, and you may end up advertising something that you don't provide. So somebody could search in Annika Digital dry cleaning. The search term will show in one of our ads because it's been triggered by our keyword Annika Digital, and we don't do dry cleaning. So it's just one thing to keep in mind. So if function ads, now these are really handy. So if functions allow you to insert a specific message into your text ad when a condition has been met, and then the default text when it has not. So for instance, if device is mobile, then you can say, oh, if device is mobile, try our new mobile optimized site. If it's not, then you go back to one of your default USPs. So the parameter gets replaced by the text that you specify, and then your ad is triggered by a person's search. So you can include if functions anywhere except for the final URL, same as the one before. So I think the next one is an example of how I've used them in the past. So if you have a loyalty bonus or a newcomer bonus, like a newcomer offer, that you may want to show different messages to each of those customers. So 10% off for a new customer. A newcomer might annoy a regular because they're not having that, they're not receiving the same service. So what you want to say for a newcomer is 10% off for new customers, but then you don't want the new customers seeing that. So you say free delivery for over £35. You could also say something like, if it's a past converter, for instance, a regular audience is conversions more than 2. You might want to be they might want to be reassured that they can repeat order quickly. Say, for instance, if it's similar to Amazon stuff. So if you have sort of dog food that you order every 2 weeks, you could just reassure them that they could quickly purchase that same order again, because they're that they're a repeat customer. Or the impatient savvy people on mobile might want to be reassured that they won't be waiting ages for a mobile page to load. So you can say things like mobile friendly website in this example down the bottom right hand side, or you can just go back to a generic USP. So they're really handy. You can use those for all sorts of things. Countdown ads. Now, with Black Friday coming up, it's definitely worthwhile, especially if you're trying to build up some importance and some you want people to get behind the fact that you've got an offer coming, or the offer's only available for a few days. So countdown customers in both countdown and global countdown formats, as I've mentioned before. They use the global countdown function if you're counting down to a time that's consistent globally, like the time of a sports match. So your ad text, this is a little bit slightly different to if you want to set up the DKIs or the if statements, because what you're entering doesn't actually, you don't put that in a little bit of code. The little bit of code that this provides in the squarely brackets is just your countdown. So you put your bit of ad text before or after the squarely brackets. So for this example, I've put sale ends in, then you've got space, then your squarely brackets, or it can be afterwards. So it'd be 3 days until Black Friday sale starts. And I've put the November 27th, which is this year's Black Friday, and you can start that countdown ad up to whatever days before, until the actual time. So you can start at 20 days, you can start at 5 days, you can start at 1 day, depending on your time scale. And it can start at any time. So you can start at the start of the day, the end of the day, or you can set a certain custom time for when you want that to start. and when you want that to finish. Sorry, so it's it counts down to that time of the day. Say, for instance, if you're launching your promotion at 9 a.m. in the morning, you will want it to launch November 27th, 2020, 9 a.m. So that is optional. You don't have to do that. You can just say start a day, end a day, whatever. It's great for installing urgency and impulse purchases. So countdown to a promotion, as I mentioned, or letting the customers know how long they have until the promotion ends. This example as well, Black Friday, you would usually use these ads. So this is the ideal time to be watching this webinar, because it's only a month away. Unfortunately, these ads can't automatically reset every night or morning. So you can't have order within 2 hours for next day delivery. You can do that. I have done that, but that's for another day. So I did that for one of our clients here, and it was 2 hours left for next day delivery, and then it'd count down 1 hour left, 32 minutes left, and so you have a cut off at 4 o'clock. But it can't do that. But it does have these here, Black Friday deals in 3 days, 3 days left of autumn sale. And you can put these in headline 1, headline 2, or you can put them in the description, depending on how much content you want to put around them. Ad Customizers. Now, this one is possibly the most complicated, but is the most complicated. So customizers, fill in your ad text using ad customizer data that you've uploaded to Google Ads in a spreadsheet file. So this is something you have to pre-plan for. So customers reference the name of the data set, which is what you're uploading, and then as well as an attribute that includes. So it's like a VLOOKUP for anybody who does Excel. So it's looking up one thing with a target that you've set, and then with that target that you've set, it displays a message that you've set that aligns with that target. That hopefully I'll be able to explain that a little bit easier with the next few slides. But it can display certain discounts with certain products for sales that change periodically, or that are limited to a specific time period. It can use brand-related keywords to display specific details about a product that someone's looking for, and you can use physical location. Now, this is the majority of the time what I use it for, is physical location, or the location that the customer is interested in, to show location-specific pricing, product availability, or calls to action. So where I've used this before is ideal for services in certain areas. So if you only deliver bulk items or certain items or even if you do mainland delivery to most of the UK, you can say that. You can say free delivery to LE6. You can say free home demo in Leicester, depending on what Google knows about you, and you can check that. I'll show you how to check that in a little bit later on. So they can open. I've used these for utilities as well. So you can have super fast broadband in LE6 when you offer that service there, or you can say save whatever on electricity in LE6, or on average people saved £30 on gas and electric in Leicester. And you just take them and you can fill in your statistics against the target location. So they might save £30 in Leicester. They might say on average people might save £60 in Derby. And you can go as specific or as generic as you want. Often I do include postcode, city, and village, and as many details as you can to cover as many bases as you can. So I've also used these to try and increase local footfall as well. So if you have a store local to, or a radius targeted campaign, like 50-mile radius around your location, your warehouse, your store, or whatever you're advertising, you can there is an API available, and I plugged in all the postcodes, and it just told me how long the drive was for each postcode. So I could say 11-minute drive from LE6, 10-minute drive from LE1. So you're just trying to let people know that there is the option of click and collect, or local pickup in store, or the fact that they just might come and see you at this location. So when to use ad customizers. These are the Google examples. I haven't used these before. They are quite useful if you have a large inventory, as it says. So the example on the left targets campaign or ad group. So when that campaign or ad group is triggered, you can use, so it's the target campaign is stand mixers, the target ad group is pro whip, and then you can export by referencing the target. You can say then, I'll use the brand, which is pro whip, or number of models that you have pro whip, which is 9, and then your basic model of pro whip would have been 150. So you could have pro whip mixers starting, we have 9 pro whip mixers, and the starting price is £150, which is how they've referenced it in this example here. So where it says open squarely brackets equals mixers, mixers will be the name of your document that you've uploaded into business data. I will possibly be turning this webinar into a blog, so it'll be a bit more step by step and going through this if you want to use it. But it won't be this week. But this is just how we'd use it. A quick example of how to use it now. So then, yeah, your mixers is your spreadsheet that you've uploaded into business data. Then dot brand, and brand is the column that you want to reference. So that's what you want to what you want to be filled into your ad. So you're using at the start of this ad, it's pro whip because we're using brand. Then number of models is dot num models underscore models, which is 9 models to choose from, starts from the price of £150. So it's quite straightforward, but quite complex at the same time. So the example on the right it uses individual keywords. So you can have one ad that deals with all of your range of mixers in this case. So you can then say whichever model, whichever keyword, if they've searched for the Pro Whip 300, it will say Pro Whip 300, and then you'll have stand mixer or whatever this is for. It could be washing machines, it could be anything you want, and then you've got your product data in there. So you can just reference anything from that. So it could just be tumble dryer, could be you've got the capacity in the model, and you've got the the type and the start price and stuff. So really handy, and it can simplify campaigns or it can overcomplicate campaigns. It's depending on how you use it. Now, using Ad Customizers, as I said, you do need to reference a spreadsheet. So you need to, in order to reference a spreadsheet, a data set, as Google call it, you need to create and upload that into business data. Now, business data is up in your top right-hand side in your tools and settings, and then in setup business data. And you upload that. You can, when you go into that section, you will get in the business data section, you will get a template available to you, and you don't need to populate every single one of these target campaign or target ad group or target keyword. You just do what's specific to you. And in this case, I've just got the target locations. So it takes your target, the customer's target location, and then it will output everything left of this status column. So everything left of that is something I've put in to go to reference London, England, or wherever, LE6 or wherever. So, and I've in this example, I've created multiple headlines to test based on the location. So, and then I've also put the postcode and city in, just so that if I want to put that into my path, so I can have all my ad text content, and then at the path at the end I can say Annika Digital. And then path 2 would reference, let's start London, Wigan, Birmingham, just so that the ad becomes highly relevant and they know that a service is offered in that location. So Google may not know your precise location. It depends how much you've given it. So you can check it at the bottom of any of your search results. So if you just go onto Google and search anything you like, at the bottom of them search results, it will give me the known location to Google of where I am. So if you're using a VPN, I could be in France or where anything else. And if you have your precise location turned on, then it may know what postcode you're on as well. So it depends on the level that you've allowed Google to track of you. So creating the ad customizers, as I say, you start with your squarely bracket. Once you've clicked the Ad Customizer option, it'll ask you the business data, the document name of the spreadsheet that you've uploaded. So then that was AutoChair BD, which was my AutoChair business data file that I uploaded, and then which attribute or column within that data set to use. So I'll be using headline A for this example. So that'd be free demo in Heathrow Waldron. But then I had headline B as well that I could be testing in a separate ad, so that I have just your general, champion challenger ad. So which one performs better? Is it the one that's headline A? Is it the one that's headline B? And headline 1 would say, free demo in London. And then your headline B says installation in London. So it's just a case of trial and error, see which one works, see which one doesn't. But then just to save time, you can upload as many as you like. You can put as many headlines in as you like, as much detail in or not, as you want into this spreadsheet. And then you can reference it here with your attributes. So once you've referenced the document, you then choose which attribute to use. And then let's say I can add the postcode city to one of the ad paths. And that's about it for smart ads. And I will let Jess or Anne take over from here. Thanks for your time. Sorry for shooting through it a little bit quickly.
Okay, Dan, if you want to turn your camera and your mic on. So just to let you know that I've loaded up the handouts in the handout tab top right. There's been quite a lot of questions while you've been going through, Dan, and some of them you have actually answered as we've gone through. So Sue asked a specific question: are you able to deal with some specific examples? I have a campaign to do today on targeting people searching how to build immune systems, and would like to offer a yoga video with a countdown to view it for free until next week. It relates to COVID-19. The target is the areas that are most affluent and affected. What would you suggest? Interesting combination of questions there. I don't think we can completely do your PPC strategy in 10 minutes. Maybe you could just answer the question about the countdown, because obviously you need the targeting to get to the right people.
It depends. If you're on just, I don't think, unless you're going global, you should just use the normal countdown. But yeah, I'd put a countdown in headline 2, that just so you've got your headline 1 that says, building your immune system with yoga, and then countdown 2 would be headline 2. Sorry, would be your countdown, which was free video available until or video available for free for 7 days, or and then it'll count down to 6 days, 5 days when people search. But yeah, I'm not sure if you could use if or customizer, the if ads or customizers. But yeah, you could definitely. And are people searching for things around that? Like for instance, they might be searching for relaxation yoga for COVID-19, or they might be stressed from COVID-19. So I don't know what kind of keywords you're using, but you could, based on your keywords, you could have a dynamic keyword in headline 1 that, and then use countdown in headline 2. But I don't think you get away with the if statements or the ad customizers.
Dan, because we've got a bit of time left, I don't know whether it might be worth if you could go into, say, the Annika account and create an ad.
Yeah, I didn't know. Am I allowed to? Can I present then? I don't
yes,
know.
you can. I'll show you how to do it. So what you need to do is need to go to the little button that said share, that says screen. So if you get the account ready, I'll carry on. I'll do a couple of other bits and pieces while you're doing that. So what I'm going to do now is I'll quickly do the offers, and then Dan can do a bit of a demo, because I think that'll be quite useful. It'll also be a bit bigger as well for you. I do recommend that you hit F11 and maximize the screen of the slides, and also you can get rid of the chat bar on your right hand side, so you can see a bigger screen as well. But let me just do a couple of offers for you. So the first one is we've got the free access to the learning materials. So if I just
and I will
share.
thanks for your time. Sorry, I was just trying to get the slide of Ilona for what she's doing later. Sorry, I was interrupting.
No, that's
Hello
okay.
and welcome to this week's webinar. Again. Oh, sorry.
If you want access and you haven't already got access to the training materials, go and hit the button and request access, and we'll add you to the Annika Academy. We are still providing free consultancy for an hour. So if any of you think that they'd benefit from somebody from the PPC helping out, let me just, although this is a little bit out of date, this, because obviously we're now in October, but we are happy to still provide a little bit of consultancy. So if you need a little bit of help, we will extend that. So if you just click that button, and then I can, I'll email you, or if you want to email me, and then I can organise the best person to speak to. So Dan, have you managed to work out how to share your screen?
I have, I think. I hope so. It's I don't think it's not very big on mine though. Can everybody see it?
So what you might have to do is everybody will need to if you hover over the top right, you can maximize it. There's two little arrows pointing in different directions. If you click on that, that will give you a full screen. Also, if we took our video off, it will also mean they'll get a bigger screen as well. So I recommend you take your video off. And then that way it takes, there you are, gives you a little bit more space. And then if you do F11 as well. So is this the Annika account? Yeah. Okay.
It is. Cool. Yeah. Can everybody hear me all right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just, your ads is there. So, well, I suppose if you go into your, let's start from the beginning. So here are all your campaigns. So you go into your campaign, go into your ad group that you want, and then in your ads on the left hand side, and then you plus your ad there. It's just a normal new text ad. So in here, that could be our default there. So what we'll do here is I want a DKI, so I'll go with I want it to be shown as capital case. So it's title case, sorry. So it's capital A, capital D if they only search Annika Digital, but it default to Annika Digital anyway. So that is my DKI done. So this is relevant for Naomi and Sue. So in this case, it'd be, I don't know what your keyword may be, but it may be that they search for, it might be your keyword is COVID-19 and yoga as a plus COVID-19 plus yoga. So somebody's search term needs to be, it contains COVID-19 and it contains yoga, and they can appear anywhere in their search terms. Or it could be stress relief yoga. So it's plus stress relief plus yoga. But that would, and then it would default back to whatever default message you want. So it'd be so as you can see, this is it's only counting on the character limit here. It's only counting this bit, so it's not actually counting my the part of code that doesn't count in your So COVID-19 plus yoga. So the default text would go back to for that, and then here I would say, did you say it was next week? So it'd be countdown to 23rd, and it will be you might take that at your promotion, your free video ends at the end of that day on the 23rd maybe, and it'll be the account of the viewers, United States we'll go with, and now we've just got, as you can see, it should give us the 3 days. So let me just, where did I? So you said you wanted to start, so you give them about a week, didn't you, to download that video? So it will count down from 7 days up until the event there. And then what you do after you've done that is, oh, sorry, that didn't count. So here we go, 7, apply. So that will count down 7 days before the final day that you can download this video. And it says only 3 days now. So yoga for stress relief, and you'd say, something like, so this is where this one differs, because you put your content before the line of code. So you don't have a default line of code for this one. You don't have something it reverts to. If, say, for instance, the search term is above 30 characters, it will revert back to your default text of yoga for stress relief. Whereas this one, you put your add content before or after. So this isn't a responsive search ad, so this is in order. So yeah, it will free video available for 3 days, or 7 days up to the event. So that's what I would do for your circumstance. You have got a few more characters here, so you could put 8 more in here, and you could put 5 more in here. So if you've got a bit more detail, you will know your business better than I will. But that's where you do it. But in here, you can then, as you say if somebody is on a mobile device. So if you're on a mobile device, you can say viewable on mobile or something, and then default would just be just a generic USP, like I don't know. Something like that, stress with yoga. So that could just be any default text, because it's just going to revert back to that if they're not on mobile. But you can say if they're on, if they're in an audience. So if you already know that they exist in your, they've already engaged with your website or something like that, you can just say, that's you can just say, welcome back, welcome back message, or thanks for tuning in again. I'm not sure that's with that one, Naomi. It is Anne might be better at answering that one. But then that's generally how you sort of. Sorry, I didn't include big enough pictures of these. I did try and include some examples in the slides, but I think what I should have done is perhaps add some content, and then the next page just would have been a full picture of these. But as I said, if you want to use these and you want to, like download your entire ad set and do it for every ad, you could then just copy this and then put it into your spreadsheet, because this is your line of code. And then, as long as you've got that, you can, why is that still in US? United Kingdom, yeah, we go. But yeah, so you can copy that and you can sort of bulk edit your ads. Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, it will allow you to, yeah. Sorry, my phone. I've said Google, so my phone's talking to me now. But yeah, that's that's generally how you do them. And then you can save ad, and I say you can use all 3 different types. You can use all 4 if you want. It's not going to slow down Google. They'll still manage to display it. Does that answer everybody's question? Or
there's another one there.
Right.
So it's just about how I think it's about how the modified broad match works when you've got a plus sign. Basically, when you've got thank you for putting that in there, Dan. That's really helpful, because I think people can see it better in the chat. But when you use the modified broad match, it's got to have COVID-19 and yoga. So you don't actually need to put a negative in for COVID-19, because it will only work in combination. And if you were going to put a negative in, you'd have to put in a negative exact match COVID-19, because otherwise, you would effectively, the negative would be stopping the main ad from working. So you do have to be careful about those different combinations. Is it worth showing them what a responsive ad looks like? We've got another 10 minutes.
Yeah, can. You can put these. I think the majority of these are available in responsive search ads. So you can use. I know you can use dynamic keyword, but I'm not sure. And I think you can use countdown, but I don't think you can use if statements and ad customizers in responsive search ads. These are available in Bing. They've been recently available in Bing, because Bing is always a few steps behind Google, but they always are constantly improving Bing. So the interface does look exactly like Google Ads now as well. So I would recommend getting yourself on Bing if you are in Google Ads, because you can just directly import pretty much everything from Google Ads into Bing. And the majority of times with working on accounts, you can see we see lower cost per clicks on Bing, lower cost per acquisition on Bing, and it's just generally, especially if your audience is a little bit older as well. So if you're getting like 50 plus, a lot of the 50-plus-year-olds,
Careful.
they use Bing. So
the other thing Bing is really good for is B2B as well. Once you've had if you could put a DKI in this, a dynamic keyword insertion in this, and then copy that into the chat, then people can see what the dynamic keyword insertion looks like as well, because I think that would be quite helpful.
Yeah, so this is just how you would usually create another text ad. So you're in the ads section here of whatever ad group that you want to be in and whatever campaign you want to be in, and it's just a case of creating a responsive search ad, or you can do it that way where it just asks you the campaign and thing. But so yeah, you can pin. So as I said, that with responsive search ads, they can be shown in any order. But if you want it to be shown, one of these to be shown in a certain location, so you want Anika Digital to be number one, you can put, I want these to show in number one position. So you can pin whatever you want. And as I say, that you put in, you don't have to put in or populate all 15 at a start. So I would recommend putting these in with a few. You could put like 3 or 4 in there, and 1 or 2 in your descriptions. But then that just gives Google a bit of a chance to. It's got some assets to try and rotate and learn. With its machine learning, it tries to optimize. Sort of the best performing ads and the best performing headlines, the best performing descriptions. But not only that, because the search intent might be different each time, you're covered in here, because people, they might be searching Anika Digital for digital marketing, so these 2 might be suitable. They might be searching Anika Digital for SEO PPC, so these 2 would be more suitable. So it's just a case of with what you're giving Google, it's more words, so it's more words for Google to match to the search term. So your ad will be hyper specific because it has these options available to it. So as I say, you don't have to put them all in straight away, and you can add as you go along. So what we do is generally we put these RSAs in, and then we start developing the other ads as well, because we'll label all our ads. We'll get rid of the ones that are ad 1, ad 2, ad 3. Ad 3 was performing the worst. We'll get rid. We'll switch it with a Frankenstein ad of ad 1 and 2, but we'll add a new USP in to see if that works any better. And then we've got more headlines available to us to be then populating into these ads. And Google will suggest on the recommended section, it will suggest that you add or improve your responsive ads, and it can do it for you. So you've added a new ad and you've got your responsive ad there. It will say, oh, improve your responsive search ads, just apply all. So you can do that. So that's, I'd suggest, putting that in, even if you don't have all the content available straight away, put it in.
Can I just explain how generally, we work with the ads? So normally we would try and have 2 extended ETAs, as they're called, extended text ads.
Yeah, it used to be 3.
Yeah, and then 1 responsive ad. If you go any more than that, it probably means that one of the ads is performing worse and you've not optimized your ads. So often when we audit a new PPC account, we might find 8 or 9 ads in the account, and half of them are rubbish. And so that means that those ads are really wasting, the budget and the clicks, really, because you could be choosing another ad that works better. The other thing is if you have too many descriptions when you first start, there's so many combinations, you're going to have a lot of traffic to actually work out what works. So you do have to be a bit careful when you're using responsive ads. And I think in some circumstances, it can take quite a long time for it to learn and be better than the ETAs. And Dan, is there some circumstances where you wouldn't recommend using responsive ads at all? Because I know in some accounts it doesn't quite work, does it?
Yeah, when they were first launched, we started populating them in, and we got a better click-through rate. We got more clicks, but the conversions, the leads, the CPA, they didn't increase. They didn't increase, and the CPA didn't come down. So all we sort of did was, we got more clicks, but none of them were qualified into, none of them got us more conversions. So it was kind of a waste, as well as the fact that sometimes you want control over your ads. So with responsive search ads, you don't have any control of what's coming. I mean, you can pin them. So if you were running a promotion, you could say Anika Digital, free consultancy, 1 hour consultancy, and you pin that into headline 2. And then when that promotion is over, you either take that part of the headline out or you unpin it. But then there's less control. So if you are trying to make sure that people are seeing a certain promotion for this 2 weeks, you perhaps don't want to use responsive search ads unless you want to go into everyone, add it in as headline 2 and pin it as headline 2. So in terms of like, there's sometimes you'd use it, sometimes you won't. So
another question here is about ad extensions, because of course with these responsive ads you've got a whole load of different messages that come up, and then you've got all the ad extensions as well. So that means there's a huge amount of additional stuff that's that can be chosen here, isn't there? And Sue's asked, what do automated extensions do?
Automated extensions, they're your reviews, aren't they, usually?
Yeah, so they're ones that happen where you don't input anything and it picks it up from somewhere else, doesn't it? Yeah.
They usually your reviews if you plugged in, and there is a URL to check your reviews in Google. I can't remember what it is though, but you type in your business name and it will tell you that you've had enough to get your 5 stars or your 4 stars or whatever you are. But that's generally your automated extension.
And then we talked about smart ads today, but Google uses the term smart in a couple of other contexts, doesn't it? Do you just want to explain, how they use machine learning in other parts of the account? What would be an example of a smart campaign that you would set up rather than a smart ad? Am I putting you on the spot, or do you know what I'm thinking about?
I don't know what answer you want, but yeah, there are smart bidding strategies that you can use. Yep. So you can, if you've got some of them require a bit more historic performance. So you'll have like if you've had 5 conversions in 30 days, you might want to use target CPA or maximize conversion. And what Google does is it uses machine learning to sort of realize what your ideal audience is, or ideal time of day, or ideal day of the week, and it will say, we know that people convert at males between 35 and 45 convert very well on a Monday morning at 9 a.m. and they'll up your bids at that sort of time. So you might see a rise in CPC, but yeah, machine learning, it just it tries to make sure you're seen at the times that conversions happen. It knows when your conversions happen and it tries to target them based on what it knows. So it uses the demographic, the audience that they might be in. It can use many things to try and get that click at that time that they know is more profitable to the advertising. And you can also use smart shopping ads. That's pretty much the same, but also it uses smart shopping ads. They can use that does your dynamic display advertising for you as well. So when dynamic display remarketing, so when you have been looking at certain things online, whatever it might have been, if you're looking for hair clippers or sports shoes, and then you go off onto Facebook or something else and starts following you around, or one of the other parts of the Google display network. So any sort of area of the internet, it starts following you around with these products similar to what you've viewed. Smart ads do that as well. So smart shopping ads do that, incorporate that as well. And smart shopping is where you need a feed in Merchant Center and you send through to Google Ads. And you have smart campaigns, which I haven't done much of. But that's sort of where Google takes a lot of control off of you, and it's sort of like it does a lot of the work for you. I'm not sure if there's anything else that you might.
No, I think that was it really. I mean, I think people talk about machine learning and AI and don't realise it's already with us all the time, and particularly
following you around.
Yeah, particularly in advertising, all the platforms have introduced it. Even when you do Facebook post, the algorithm is working out who will see it and who won't. To be honest, when we first started using a lot of these smart campaigns, they were awful. So you do need to work out, and some of them, I did a presentation at SMX, I think last year, where I provided data on smart shopping when they'd only just come out. And in some of them, you got a massive increase in clicks, and you didn't really get any increase in any increase in sales. But actually, when you got to about 4 and 6 weeks, you suddenly started to see it was like a slow build. So sometimes you have to leave it long enough for the data to be collected. One of the things I would say, though, is there is a polarization of Google Ads management. And that is, you know, a lot of people will just stick their campaigns on smart campaigns or automation, and they just leave it to the algorithm to work. And, you know, there's not a lot of thought that goes into it. And then at the other end is the really sophisticated stuff that we do, which includes overlaying of audiences, the stuff that Dan's been including today, lots of remarketing strategies. And really, if you're in a competitive environment, you know, if you're just going to stick everything on automatic, then all you're going to be doing is, you know, you'll be doing exactly the same as everybody else that's also got it on automatic. So I definitely think it's worth, you know, you need to, if you've got a reasonable budget and you are in a competitive area, that's when you need the sort of strategies that we're talking about. And that's why we do these webinars. Okay, I'm a bit conscious of the time. Sue's just raised a couple of issues. Sue, you need to come and, I'm not sure who you work for, but you need to come and work with us. You mentioned a good point about Google reviews. What's the best way to increase Google reviews? Well, that's not this subject today, so we won't cover that one today. Actually, it might be worth us doing the subject on reviews. There are different types of reviews. The review stars. Do you just want to mention about how you get review stars in ads, Dan?
Well, yeah, it's Google sort of has, I say this URL that because they have like partners, so you can go for reviews.io. That's kind of a bias because I know Callum and he's a decent bloke. He runs it.
I agree.
Yeah,
and he's based in Leicester
yeah,
or LA.
yeah. Reviews.io is a trusted Google partner of reviews, and say for instance you can chase people with, you know, give us a review and you know, you'll get 5% off your next order, or give us a review and you have free access to this video available that only to you, you know. So you can sort of chase and give incentives, and then you know,
you have to be careful with incentives. You can get into trouble with incentives. I know, you know, it's quite nice to give incentives, but there are some restrictions on what you're allowed to do and what you're not allowed to do.
I didn't know that. But anyway, yeah, so if you're a Google trusted partner, a Google trusted review partner, they incorporate all those reviews. So if you've got reviews on Google, you've got reviews on reviews.io, you've got reviews on another review site, they should all come into this Google, into your Google business page. You should be able to view it from there, I think. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But you should be able to view it there. And I think the limit to get your stars, I think you have to have, I think it's 120 in a year.
Yeah,
or
it's
something.
changed, isn't it? So it used to be 30, then it went up to 120, and I think it's now down to 100 again. So yeah,
Is
it
it
does.
within 12 months, or
Yeah,
it
I
used to
think
be
so.
a time scale?
Yeah, I think so. While we're talking about reviews, in the last final moments of the presentation, if you've enjoyed today's review, or you have enjoyed today's webinar, or you've enjoyed any of the webinars that we've given over the last few weeks, please go over to reviews.io. I did say we were biased, and leave us a review. I just think the only thing to mention now is Ilona's presentation, which is next week, isn't it?
Yeah, I did have it in slides, so it's at the end if anybody wants any details.
Yeah, so I think Ilona is covering 11 tips for using Instagram for business, and that's on Friday the 23rd of October at 9 o'clock. So please sign up. You can sign up usually by our website, but you can also sign up by the Big Marker program. So I'll just add a link to that as well. So if you've not already been sent an email, you can go and sign up there as well. Excellent. Well, thank you so much, Dan. That was really good, and I think the demo was very helpful. If you just want to put before people go, if you just want to put a keyword insert formula just in the chat quickly, so that people can see what that looks like, that will be really useful. Yeah, that'll be fine. Yeah, paste that in the chat.
Yeah, I did put that one a little bit further up as well.
Oh, did you? Okay, sorry, I missed that.
Yeah, no problem.
Excellent. Well, thanks very much, everybody. Have a great Friday and a great weekend. And you will get the recording later on today. And we look forward to seeing you next Friday. Thanks very much.
Cheers, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.